Retirement is supposed to be about freedom and peace of mind, not dreading the mailbox every month when the utility bills show up. So about 6 months ago, I decided to stop guessing and to start tracking. Every electric bill, every gas bill, every water bill, logged month after month. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on that spreadsheet. Just like I showed you my grocery costs, now I'm going to show you my utility costs. I'll show you exactly what I paid, how much my usage moved up and down, and most importantly, the specific habits that actually made a dent in my bills. If you've ever wondered whether those save on your electric bill tips are worth the hype, stick around, because I've got 6 months of real numbers to back it up. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is John. I'm 61, a recently retired teacher, and a single gay dad. I have a teenage daughter. Please pray for me. So, all joking aside, let's start with dollars and cents. Here's what 6 months of electricity, natural gas, and water actually cost me. Electricity ran from a high of $153 in January down to $107 in May for a 6-month total of $772, averaging about $129 a month. The average monthly bill for a 3-bedroom home in my metro area runs from $150 to $230 per month. So even the most expensive month, I was already under the low end of that range. Natural gas told a seasonal story, $59.78 in January and February, and that dropped to $36 and $44 by May and June, for a total of $318 over 6 months. Typical natural gas costs for a home like mine run from $70 to $120 in fall and winter, and from $30 to $50 once spring and summer hit. My house tracked pretty much right along that curve for every season. Water and sewer were the steadiest of the three, never wandering outside of $121 to $130 for all 6 months, for a total of $756. The average for a 2-person household in my area is $170 to $180 a month. So my household was roughly $50 a month below typical every single month. But it's important to recognize that I don't have a yard, just potted plants on the front porch and balcony. So as summer cooks us, I don't have to irrigate a lawn or large shrubs and trees. That saves me money. But cost is only half the story, because rates and weather, they can shift on their own. So I also tracked my consumption and compared it to the previous year, how much more or less I actually used. Electricity was the most variable up and down. March and May were my best months, down 18 and 22%. April and June crept back up slightly. If I'm honest, I think that lined up with a stretch of unseasonably warm weather, and I started running the AC already. But even with those bumps, I averaged an 8% drop over that 6-month period. Gas was my biggest win, a 40% drop in natural gas in January alone, and a 15% average drop across the half year. The one exception was February. That was up 5% during a cold snap. Overall, I think we had a warmer winter, and that helped. Water use barely moved up or down, 1% up on most months, a couple months 1% down. And that tells me my habits need some work. I think there's a little more room to squeeze some savings out of my water and sewer bill, and I'm going to work on that with my daughter and I. So what's behind these numbers? Here's what I do to reduce my costs, utility by utility. First of all, electricity. I put my smart TVs, they are vampire electronics, on power strips, also my computer and monitors, so I turn those off completely when not in use. I switched my few remaining incandescent bulbs to LEDs. I try not to use my overhead can lights much, and instead use task lighting or open blinds during the darker months. I run the dishwasher and laundry only in the evening during off-peak hours. I set the thermostat a couple degrees closer to the outdoor temp, and I dress for the season. So that means layers. More layers in winter, fewer layers in summer. We try using fans occasionally in the spring and opening windows. I charge my electric car now. I have this deal with my electricity provider, and I signed up for discounts if I charge my electric car only at night after 8 p.m. Now, natural gas. I lowered the water temperature heater of several degrees down to 120. I started cooking with lids on pots, which actually helps keep my stovetop cleaner, so that's cool. I lowered the thermostat at night. So instead of dropping down to 60, I now drop it down to 50. I fixed a running toilet by putting in new mechanics, and I also fixed the washer in a shower that had started dripping. And I've encouraged my daughter and we both try and take shorter showers than we used to and fewer baths. We only run the dishwasher and washing machines with full loads, and we've started using the eco setting on each. And finally, I water the plants on the back porch in the evening when the sun is gone, and I water the plants on the front porch in the morning when the sun hasn't yet reached that side. So that's 6 months of real data, not guesses, not assumptions. If you're on a fixed income in retirement, this kind of tracking I found takes me 15, maybe 20 minutes a month at most. And I think it paid for itself in time because I think I saved $200 to $250 over 6 months. And that is a hotel for a nice long weekend or half the cost of my Symphony subscription. So I can take those needs, those costs that are needs, and they can kind of fund something that I want that's an extra. Let me know in the comments what your utility bills look like. I know they can vary depending on your locale. Here, where I live, about 95% of our electricity comes from hydro and wind, and I know that can be very much more expensive in places that rely on natural gas and coal. If this video was helpful and you want to see updates, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm working toward 1,000 subscribers this year, and every one of you is helping me get there. I appreciate your support more than you know. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great week.